Hi everybody, today we're going to be making hair oil. The recipe is I guess an inspiration from this book, which has a recipe for a hair oil spray, and I'm going to use the recommended quantities in here. It says 10 drops of your oils in combination, so total 10, to a 4-ounce amount of the carrier oil. And the carrier oil, two carrier oils I'll be using is olive oil and coconut oil. Olive oil just because I have, and coconut oil to add some sweetness to it because I love how coconuts smell. And the oils I'll be using are recommended in hair as being good for hair, your hair. So in the book it's oils that are good for your hair, and the ones that I chose to do the combination is rosemary, carrot seed, clary sage, and cedarwood. And I'm using grapefruit to fragrance as a fragrance. It's winter here, and my hair is usually covered by a tam in this period of time, this season, so I'm not really worried about the photosensitivity of this oil at the moment. If it was like summer, spring, fall, where I know I'm not going to be wearing a tam or a hat on my head most of the time, I would switch this out for maybe another scent, maybe lavender or another type of scent. But I actually just love how grapefruit smells, so we're not worried about photosensitivity here in the winter right now. So that's why I'm using it here. It's February, so I'm all good. But for people who don't have winter, or it's not winter right now, you'd want to switch this out for maybe lavender. I don't know how much of this I'm adding yet. I'm just going to add to scent it because I'm using it as a fragrance. So that's what I'm following here. I have a thermometer. I'm going to be using beeswax because it says here 20 grams of beeswax for the thickening, because it's not going to be like a runny oil like this. It's not going to be in liquid form. I want it to form more of a solid, and the beeswax will help solidify it. I'm using a popsicle stick for a stirring stick, and I have here my trusty pitcher that you see me mix everything in. Yeah, it's been burnt. It's been used. So I have the water already going on the stove, so that's boiling up, and we're going to use the water to melt the wax real quick. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'll come back when the wax is all melted. Now while the wax is melting, I want to measure the olive oil, the amount. So this, I know, let me show you, is a 4-ounce container. If it will focus, you'll see it there. I know it's 4 ounces. This is an old container that I've had for a while. And so I'll just measure, because this is the container everything will end up in at the end. So I'm just gonna measure it, and I'm just gonna look with my eyes real quick because the camera is not focusing. Okay, so about that much. Yeah, so about that much. I'm not gonna fill it totally. I'm also gonna add the coconut oil. It's 1 teaspoon. Everybody knows what a teaspoon is, but I need 2 hands for this, so I'll be right back. Okay, so there you go. 1 teaspoon of the coconut oil. I'm just gonna drop it in there, and we're still waiting on the beeswax. I just want to say too that I made my mixture up ahead of time with the drops that I wanted to use. I used this 1 ml glass container. I got it from Amazon, so you can get it there too. It's good to measure out your drops first so that you're not wasting time drop by drop while you're waiting for the beeswax to come to temperature. But the beeswax you have to wait for, I think we're gonna wait to 150 degrees to add the oils. And so you're going to be watching the thermometer go all the way down to 150, and it's at 150 we're going to add. So you wouldn't want to be at 150 degrees trying to do the drops one by one here. You'd want to measure them out from before. So I did these already, so I'm just going to maybe do the grapefruit one now. I'm just going to leave this one uncovered so I know which one is which. So basically I'm just saying that you measure out all your oils, maybe the ones that are in your main recipe, and then maybe the one that is going to be used for fragrance later on. And if you need to add more fragrance, then you can play with it. But just remember that grapefruit and other citrus oils, they are photosensitive, so you don't want to rub them on and then go out into the sun, because you might get sunburn or maybe another more serious reaction if you are sensitive to that stuff. Let's check on the beeswax. Almost done. Okay, so just waiting for that to finish up, and then we're gonna add the oils to it. So at this point I'm just going to put the thermometer in. It's not quite done yet. We have a little speck here left. So, but I'm gonna add the carrier oil to it now, and I'm gonna try not to spill it. I'm gonna try to be extra careful. I'm gonna look with my eyes and not the camera, and just pour this guy in. It's gonna solidify a little bit, but then it's gonna, what do you call it? Go right back to being melty. And it should not take that long, because the beeswax was already warm, this was already going, so it should melt and become one consistent mixture in maybe a minute or so. So we'll do that, because I don't want to do that and come back, because I don't want the moisture to come up into the camera lens right here. So be right back. Okay, that took about a minute, and oh, you can see, so you can see the temperature is, oh there we go, it's about 150. So we're going to take it off the stove now, and then we're going to just wait until it goes a little below that to add our oils. Okay, so we took it off the stove, and now we're gonna have to just wait patiently for the temperature to go down. It's not focusing. Focus. Well, I guess you can see that it's a little above 150. So we're gonna wait until this goes down to 150. So it might take a little bit of time, so we'll be back. And I think the other thing I want to point out on this thermometer, let me see if it will focus. So it has, let's see, glass fill wax plastic molds. I guess it doesn't want you to go above 175. So we're using, I guess we're using plastic for sure, because that's what the container here is made out of. And so if I'm reading this whole directions correctly, it's saying don't go above 175 to fill the plastic wax molds. So we're working with wax, so I think we're safe here if I'm interpreting this correctly. Anyway, so don't make it go above 175 is what this thermometer is trying to tell you. Oh, this is a thermometer I bought at Michael's for playing with wax, for wax melting and stuff. So still watching the temperature and still waiting for 150. And this container is ceramic, so it's gonna hold heat for a while, so just patiently waiting. And while you wait and watch the temperature, just give it a few stirs so that it, I guess, decreases in temperature evenly. We're almost there. We're almost there. Just kind of like that, and just kind of watch it. It's going down, so. And I wouldn't leave it alone. I would just stay here and wait and watch, just so that you don't miss your appropriate opportunity. Plus, remember that, where is it? Here. Your oils are at room temperature, and it's out of focus. Your oils are at room temperature, so adding them will decrease the temperature of this. So you just wanna be cognizant of all of that stuff. Oh, we're almost there. Almost there. Let me try and, yep. So we're falling to 150. So at this point, I'd watch the consistency of this. It hasn't started to solidify as yet, so I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. Okay, so I'm gonna put you on pause again. I'm gonna uncap my main one. This is the mixture with the drops, and then I'm gonna pour it in. Okay, so we're ready. Okay, it's all in, and we're gonna stir and stir and stir, make it all mixed up nice and properly. Watch the temperature. Oh, it's dropping. So stir and stir and stir and stir. $148. I'm gonna pour it in now. In fact, we forgot to add our scent. Let's add our, and it's smelling so good already, but let's add our grapefruit. There. Smells so good. Okay, let's transfer now into, and yes, I have some old hair oil in there already. It might melt into the rest of it, or it might not, because the temperature is low enough, but we'll see. So that's it. Once it's transferred into your plastic mold, I guess, the container that you want to leave the hair oil in, once it's transferred in here, you just leave it and it will solidify over time. Leave it for about an hour. That should give it enough time. So you know what, we'll pause here and come back in an hour and check on it. Okay, so now that it's in the plastic container, we can see, let me just get it to focus real quick. Check the temperatures a bit. I'm learning here. And you can check, it's not solidifying yet, so we could wait. We could have waited a little bit longer to add our oils. We can add them at 125 maybe, which would be good. 125 degrees Fahrenheit, because it's, as you can see, it's still pretty liquid. So we'll come back and check on this in an hour. Last observation. So what I observe is now that it's become cloudy at the bottom. That means it's solidifying at the bottom, and we're at let me try and focus here. We're below 125. So it started to solidify. You can see it's starting to solidify on the thermometer as well. So we'll check back in an hour. It should be all solidified. We can check the consistency, if we like it, that consistency. On the thermometer, still a bit warm, but don't know if you can see that. So That's about the consistency of the hair oil you'll get. So we'll check when an hour has passed to see what consistency it is. All right, speaking of consistency though, if you think this is too thin a consistency, so it's not thick enough, you can add more beeswax. So I added 20 grams of beeswax to the 4 ounce. Maybe you can go 25 if you want it a little bit thicker. If you want it thinner than this, then you would use less beeswax. So that's how you can, and you can play with the recipe if you want to. So yeah, see, it's starting to look really good. All right, we'll come back in an hour. Okay, so it's been over an hour. I totally forgot about it, but so it's nice and cool now, and this is the consistency of it. So that's the consistency of the hair oil. And that's how oily it is. So this is just drops of, so I was cleaning up and there were drops left in this, so I just kind of poured it on the top. It won't mix in because it's already what do you call it, solidified already, so it'll just stay on the top here, and I'll just use it as we go along. So I'm just gonna wipe this in my hair real quick. And since these are already used, since these two are already used, I'm just gonna mark them with some nail polish to say that I've already used them, and so we can use them again, not to be mixed up with the ones that are empty and new. All right, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.